Hey guys, John here, and I'm in Sweden, a country I've never visited, but they have some amazing Swedish tool brands, Bahco, Hultafors, and I know that Wurth, the shop behind me, has got a few of those. So we're gonna head in here, have a look what quirky tools, interesting tools they've got that I've not seen before, anything interesting that catches my eye. Let's go and have a look and see what we can find. Hello. Got some Hultafors. I don't think they have Hultafors in the English word. I've been saying Wurth all the time, but it's actually Wurt. So there you go, you live it every day's a school day. A cool little knife section, a little razor scraper. Always interested to look at knives, that's good. The towel meter, that is one of my favourite tape measures, that one. That is an absolute beauty, but I've already got one, so I don't need another one. Nice to see a Zoll stock. That's a nice one. Nice printed with Wurth on it. I've got to get one of those, at the very least. Moraknil. Oh, so they are actually slightly different shapes too, so the different colours are a slightly different style. That's an interesting one, look. Tiny little one with a little knife on the little back knife as well. Made in Sweden. Maybe we have to get a Moraknil knife since it's Swedish. Swedish made in Sweden. I think that's got to be a good pickup as well. Beef Crowbar.
Swedish made.
Is it? Right, okay.
Yeah, handmade in Sweden.
Dal Bakshan. Oh, that's cool.
It's like Wurth branded, but the real deal is like really blue.
Oh, right, and then these are the white label ones. Yeah, handmade in Sweden. I like that. Responsibly made in Sweden, I like it. The only thing in Wurth is there's no prices on anything. You have to guess the price.
Yeah, because we're selling much to like other companies.
Yeah, trades, yeah. Well, maybe we have to get that too, because then we've got another Swedish made tool. I like it. Some big old hammers, tell you what. That's like something for doing the old like whack-a-mole bonders. Big fan of bonders. Some of my favourite Allen keys are the T-handle Bondus Allen keys. It's interesting to see what's there available. You know, made in the USA Bondus Allen keys have made it to Sweden, and they're like a preferred choice in Wurth. Each Wurth I've been to is different. That's a different one. Viking arm. That must be a new one to their. Actually, it is branded Viking arm. I wonder if Viking arm is from Sweden. I'm not actually sure. It makes sense, wouldn't it? From where the Vikings originated. Correct me if I'm wrong. Love these little adjustables. I wonder if the Wurth ones are also made in Sweden by Bahco. That's quite a cool one. A Bahco adjustable with like a universal. I think they call it a fishtail. That's one I've never owned. Quite like these Wurth Aussie boxes. And if you didn't know already, we actually have inserts for these ready to go. They're one that I've already sorted out. They're a lovely system. You have a whole ruck of inserts that you can have like plastic pre-molded trays and drill organisers and stuff, and then different sizes and different trays and different kind of containers for sorting them out. You just never know. I just like to look around and see what little bits there are that are different, and we always have the cool stuff around the till. Oh, I've got another Zoll stock here. Is this a Hultafors one or something? Need to have a quick, broader scope around the place. Ah, black larder. I didn't know Wurth did black larder stuff. Now I do. Oh, here you go. There's me pants. That is a good pair of pants. Those can be on my top 5 list. The black larder pants. Here's a good thing. That's a nice tool cabinet. These zebra tools are great. Wurth don't make the tools, I believe. They just rebrand good quality tools, so you can buy zebra tools on their own, like zebra branded, or then Wurth rebranded zebra tools. This is quite nice with like the carbon fibre effect top. Oh, tool catalogue. That is what it's all about, isn't it? That's almost as good as getting tools, getting a tool catalogue. Now, I've bought from Wurth a few times, but I don't think I have an account. Each time, is that okay that I just pay with cash?
Yeah,
is that okay?
Yeah, with card.
With card, yeah. That's not for sale, is it? That's like a rare one.
Oh, that's mine.
That's your one?
Yeah, that's mine.
Oh, that's
really rare.
Is it? Is it for sale? Everything's for sale.
Everything is for sale.
What a cool store, and a really cool guy as well. We got here just before closing time, and he kept open a little bit longer. He let me have a look around. He also hooked me up with a very rare Wurth Zoll stock. There's only one on the till, and I just pushed my luck and said, "You can have that one. Is that one for sale?" And he said, "Oh, that one's mine. That was the last edition of the limited edition model," and he hooked me up. He gave me one. So I got some really cool stuff. Not quite a full bag though. I think I've maybe got 3 or 4 items. So I do think we head somewhere else, and there's somewhere just around the corner called Swedol. And what says Sweden better than Swedol? I think it's like an automotive tool shop. Let's go and have a look, see if we can find a few more bits. Right, second location. We didn't find as much as I'd like in the last store, so Swedol looks pretty interesting online. Let's go and see what they've got. Look at that, before I'm even in the door, they've got Milwaukee tools. We've got pack outs and pack out stacks and drawers. Look at this guy here, meter and greeter. Let's have a look. Tell you what, I can tell it already, this place is flipping awesome. Hey, I've got that set from Bessie. We've got a Metabo version. I don't think I need that again, but I've never seen a Metabo utility knife. The only thing is, you look at that $2.99, that's roughly about £23, I think. Let me check that. £22.70. Wasn't far off, 23 quid. Have I just walked in the door and found my first thing? Got one of those for Colin Furs. We set him up with one of these bandsaws from Power Tool, mate. It's amazing what they can put a battery on now. And they've got that stuff on display as well, which is awesome. Got a lovely selection, all nicely laid out, this store. Didn't expect it to be so big. Got loads of stuff. This is actually amazing, to be fair. A lot more Milwaukee stuff than you'd find on display in your normal kind of little... Well, that was hanging on my thread. 15,990. What's that? 1,200 quid. That's quite expensive. But then is it? I mean, does it come with a load of tools? Is that 326 tool kits with it? It's got a load of foam, got a load of tools in. So 1,200 quid with tools ain't bad, is it? So £1's about 13 Swedish krona. So that's about 1,200 quid, something like that. Let me check it. £1 is 13.17 Swedish krona at the moment. So this toolbox at 15,999. 1,215 quid, but you do get a load of tools with it. Quite like these foam trays as well. They put me in mind of the Hultafors ones, like the little Hultafors modular ones, and Icon as well from America, but just trying to see if there's anything that catches my eye is a bit different in the trays, or if they're all just quite generic stuff. Pretty cool, that helicoil set in foam. I do love a helicoil. If you don't know what they are, helicoils are genius. For thread repairs, really simple, nice little process. Lovely little kits, all shadow foamed up for you. Beautiful. It's interesting that all of the Milwaukee displays have got lights on top. All of the little M12 batten lights all along the top. Big wipes, getting everywhere. We did a great demo, or I didn't do the demo, Jack did a great demo of the big wipes, which everybody loved. Nice to see that they've made their way over to Sweden. Shout out to Big Wipes team. Found the Zoll stock. This must be Swedol's own brand, Prowell. £4.50, that's not bad. So I get 6 of those. And that's one for me, one for the collection, which puts us nearly at 50, I reckon. That's a nice one to the collection, and 5 for the giveaway. So drop a comment in already. We've already started. Let's keep looking. That has caught my eye straight away, whatever that is. Foul knife, Swedish design since 1883. I'm not fully sure what it is. It's just like really unusual. On the back it's showing somebody using a fire steel, and I can see a fire steel there. But that just looks like the stick, like the replacement stick. Maybe there's a fire steel in that. Can't quite tell. Sometimes some of these knives have fire steels like in the handle. I can't see that any of these do. But I do like that thing. How weird is that? How cool does that look? Don't have these. Blades will not loosen, serrated or metal handles. That is interesting, look at that, the metal's coming through. Large handle loops, index finger control, ruler markings. These are for cutting fabric. They're usually fabric scissors when they're like that, so you can go along a table with them. Don't even need fabric scissors, but pretty interesting. And we've got some Bahco as well. Oh, it's awesome here. So Bahco's a famous Swedish brand, owned by Snap-on, if you didn't know. So don't pay quadruple for an adjustable spanner from Snap-on when you can get the exact same one from Bahco. And here we go, straight into more Zoll stocks. That's an interesting one. I didn't know Hultafors did a metal one. That is probably the nicest Zoll stock I've ever seen. I've got another aluminium one, but it's nowhere near as good as that. Hultafors metal one, and then we've got a fiberglass one down there, or plastic. What is it? Yeah, just plastic. No, it does say there, fiberglass. I wouldn't feel like it, but that's for an electrician. Make sure he doesn't electrocute himself. I don't know if I need another Prowell one. Maybe that's the one I get for me because it's slightly wider and it'd match all my others. And then we've got 5 for the giveaway. I actually prefer the birch ones, but I've got quite a lot that look like that. And then the metal Hultafors. Is that the ultimate? Have we found the ultimate Zoll stock there? And the knife. So this occasionally happens. They asked us to stop filming in the store. So I carried on having a quick blimp round, but to be honest, as soon as you're on the radar, you're better off just winging out. We try and explain, we're making positive videos, we're showing interesting quirky tools, but some stores are more than happy and other stores aren't so much. I found a few bits, I've got some interesting stuff, and it's certainly interesting to be in Sweden. It's a very clean store, that. All the front of the store was tools, and then it kind of went into workwear, so I'd say 50% of the store was workwear. But to be fair, I'm pretty happy with that. That is a fair amount of stuff from Swedol, and when I combine it with all the stuff from Wurth, that's some pretty cool Swedish made tools, some interesting bits. Let's get it all back to the workshop and I can talk you through it, including a pretty cool giveaway.
Let's get out of here!
So that's me back from Sweden, and not one, but two tool shops, Wurth and Swedol. And nothing says Sweden or Swedish tools quite like a shop called Swedol. And I found some really cool stuff in there, to be fair, and I'd halfway gone around the store when I was asked politely not to film anymore. Now, it was quite a big store and there wasn't many people in there, you see, so we were just discreetly wandering around, looking at the tools as you do. It was quite a quiet store, there wasn't really anyone in there, to be fair, and there was no one in there to ask, actually. When we walked in and it was all the tool section, we just got straight into looking at the tools. I was chomping at the bit to look at the tools, but I did manage to look around the full tool section before I was asked politely to stop filming. But I did carry on looking around the store. It was quite nice to keep looking all around the other sections, but I did fully film the tool section. So I've got some really cool stuff from Swedol in here, and then around the corner was Wurth, and these guys loved it. They were well happy that we were filming, and the chap in Wurth was very happy for us to film, very polite, which was a common theme, really. I found the Swedes and the Danish very, very friendly, and they probably speak better English than us in England, to be honest. They were all fantastic, and I got some absolutely great tools from Wurth and a wild tasting sweet. But what a trip to Sweden. I really enjoyed it over in Denmark, because that's where I flew into. I flew into Copenhagen, and it was very, very flat. I could see from the plane. There's a reason why they call it the flattest and lowest country on earth, because the sea's there and the land is there and it's entirely flat. But we landed in Copenhagen and got straight in the hire car and went straight over one of the longest bridges, if not the longest bridge in Europe, over to Sweden. That was pretty cool. Super long tunnel, super long bridge, straight into Sweden. Cost me 60 quid to cross the bridge, and then another 60 quid coming back. I could not believe it. And I'd already paid another 40 quid to have winter tyres. It's the law to have winter tyres on your car in Sweden. So I landed, went to get my hire car, and they said, oh, do you want to go to Sweden? And I said, yeah, of course I do. It's only there. And they said it's another 40 quid for winter tyres. So I tell you, it was an expensive trip, but it was worth it because what I found in Sweden was worth the wait. Now, before I get into my top picks from Wurth and Swedol, I also picked up one of the Wurth toolboxes from their toolbox modular system, which is called the Orsi. Now, they've got this in a variety of different depths and sizes. You can see there's a smaller one here. They also have some quite cool racks, and they all connect together. And as you'd expect, we do have shadow foam inserts available for all of these boxes. So you've already got the Wurth Orsi system. Rather than just having it as like a cavernous bucket like this, you can get a shadow foam insert from shadowfoam.com in any one of the 10 colours. I've got a 50mm yellow one here, and they slot perfectly inside. And as I go through my top picks from Swedol and Wurth, I'll do a bit of a layout, and at the end, I'll show you how easy it is to cut all the shadow foam, and I'll also show you the giveaway, because I picked up some really cool bits for a giveaway. So stay tuned for that. But first and foremost, let me show you my top picks, starting with number 5. Starting with a Metabo knife. Now, Metabo is not a brand I've seen a lot of hand tools from, so when I saw this little knife kit, firstly it was quite familiar because I do have the same kit made by Bessie. You can see it's got a Bessie logo there, so this is like a licensed Metabo version. I've already got the Bessie kit. When I was in Sweden, I didn't know for sure that they were the exact same. As soon as I got back, I could see they are the same kit, but this is obviously the Metabo one. And I am a bit of a collector of two things: utility knives and Zollstocks, which is folding rulers for those who don't know. So I thought this was a pretty good pickup. It was 300 Swedish crowns, which puts it about 23 quid. The thing that makes this quirky and unusual isn't the knife, although the knife is quite nice. It's got a blade holder, some blade storage in the handle. It's got this nice little pad to push your thumb on, which is quite nice. It's quite a solid knife, but you look at these. Have you ever seen any utility blades quite like these? So it's a standard utility knife connection, and there you go. Same standard utility knife, but not a standard utility blade. And then you've also got this kind of like flat blade here, which is, I'm not exactly sure what the use case is, but maybe let me know in the comments, do you use one of these? Because it's a new one on me. When I saw it in the Bessie kit, I think I got this at one of the tool fairs, but I'm still not quite sure what this blade is for. I'm sure you'd know it when you see it almost. You'd be doing a job and you'd be like, I know the perfect tool for that little tiny little hard to reach scraping spot, or need to cut something that's a little bit hard to reach. So really interesting knife, and definitely an interesting utility blade. So let me know in the comments, do you use one of these on a daily basis? And if so, what are you using it for? And even the bill hook. I know in America you can get fixed blade bill hook knives, and they're a lot more popular than they are in the UK. And I'm not entirely sure what the bill hook's for. Is it for gutting fish or something? Let me...
Knife goes in, guts come out. Knife goes in, guts come out.
But it does do the standard utility function pretty well, and the Bessie blades are really good. So that is my first pick, the Metabo knife, which is going to go in the utility collection, but for now, it goes on the layout over there. And a pretty cool pick, I think, for my number 5 spot. Let me show you number 4. Now, before I go into 4, actually, I got a few bits from Swedol for the giveaway. And you don't often see stuff like this in the UK. Branded items and merch. Zoll stocks with Swedol on them. You know how it's done on this channel. There's one for my collection. This puts me at 50. So Swedol gets the special spot of 50th Zoll stock in the collection. So one of those is for me. I also got 5 additional ones for the giveaway. And I got 5 of these like little Swedol notepads. 5 for the giveaway, 1 for me. Love that. Always happy to have another pad. And I got 5 pens, Swedol pens. So it's a hardback book, and it's not a notebook, which I thought it was. It's actually a flip book, which is actually a lot more useful, to be fair. There's a little like holder there as well, so that's pretty cool. So that's the first part of the giveaway. We've got the Swedol notebook, the Swedol folding ruler, which is a pretty good one too. You know they're better quality when they're a little bit slimmer, and the Swedol pen. And it doesn't stop there. There were some other bits I found, but let me show you my number 4 pick, which is a knife from Hultafors. So we're carrying on the theme of knives. Never seen this one. I really like Hultafors as a brand, famously Swedish. And I thought getting a Swedish knife and a Hultafors knife in Sweden, one I'd not seen before, was quite relevant. And it looked really interesting in the packet. I was thinking, what is going on with this? Well, I've done a bit of research, and it's literally just for aesthetic. Let me know if I'm wrong there, but there's nothing on the packaging. It says it's stainless steel. It says it's a 2.8mm blade. It locks, and it says you can use it with a fire starting stick, but that's nothing special really. You can use any piece of steel with a piece of flint, and then you can make a spark. So I don't think that is a real USP, because you could put that in anything made out of steel. An Allen key, and you go, well, it also, you can use it on a flint. Any bit of metal, any tool, you go, it's a 2-in-1 this. Well, how's that spanner a 2-in-1? Well, you strike it on a bit of flint and you make a fire with it as well. It's a fire starter. It is a nice knife though, I'll give it that. And it feels really nice in the hand. It's got this little like loop here, which is kind of like, it's just intriguing how the knife feels so solid, but it looks like it only connects by a thin little slip there. So it is really, really nice. But I'd love to know if there was any other thought behind this handle other than just it looks cool. I wanted to pick it up because, again, it was just a big, intriguing one, and that's what I'm always about. And it's never bad, really, to have another knife in your kit. So, pretty interesting. Hultafors, Swedish made. Can't go to Sweden and not buy some Swedish tools. But that is my number 4 pick. Let me show you number 3. Now, before I get into the bag from Wurth, I've got a couple more items in here, and that is a couple more Zoll stocks. We've got my 51st, 52nd, and 53rd Zoll stock. These two are from a new brand, Prowell, and they've got a birch one, and then they've got a little plastic one as well, fiberglass. So 2 more for the collection. New brand on me, Prowell. I've only ever seen that in Swedol, so it's a pretty cool one to pick up and add to the collection. And then this one is just a really good quality Hultafors metal Zoll stock. I've had a couple of metal ones, and they've all been a little bit janky, but this Hultafors one is the best. And maybe that should be expected. The Swedish company Hultafors keep the best Swedish Zoll stocks in Sweden. Maybe that's, you've got to go to Sweden to get this one. But it feels really nice. It's probably the best Zoll stock I've got in the whole collection. It's just really good quality. It's nice and solid. And it's a little bit slimmer than my other metal one as well. So I thought that was a pretty cool pickup. And that takes me to 53 Zoll stocks. And it doesn't stop there because I've got a couple from Wurth. But before I get into that bag, I've also got in here, what's kex mean to you? Because to me, it means trousers. But in Sweden, kex means chocolate bar, and I saw these in quite a few shops. They're everywhere. Kex, made in Sweden, Swedish chocolate. We love a taste test. I got 5 for the little giveaway. I thought that's going to make it even better. And then 1 to test. So it looks like it's a wafer biscuit, to be fair. But there you go, first surprise. It's a wafer biscuit covered in chocolate. So does that make it a Kit Kat? Imitation Kit Kat? Or maybe a blue ribbon? That looks a bit like a blue ribbon to me. And that's a bit of controversy. Who calls it a blue ribbon? Because I called it a blue ribbon for most of my life. But it's actually a blue ribband. Picture on the screen. Is that an example of the Mandela effect? Where people think that the Monopoly guy has got a monocle on, but he doesn't. Or maybe he did, I don't know. But people assume it's one way and it's actually not. Blue ribbon is blue ribband. Go and check it out. But I'll tell you now, it's actually quite good this. This is quite tasty. It's like a thinner blue ribband and there's a bit more of it and it's a bit meatier, a bit more of a bite to it. You got to give it a bit more of a bite, it doesn't all crumble. That is one of the best taste tests I've done so far. I've had some right crud on this channel. That is a winner. Kex for the win. There's one in the giveaway. Let me know if you've always called it ribbon, and if you do drop a comment down below, that is exactly the right thing to do to be entered into the giveaway. We keep our giveaways really simple on this channel. All you've got to do is subscribe to the channel, and it doesn't cost anything. You just click the subscribe button, and all that'll do is it'll add our videos to your feed. So when you go on YouTube, you'll see our videos on your feed of new stuff, and you don't want to miss out on our videos, so click the subscribe button, and then drop a comment down below this video about blue ribbons, about tools, about Sweden, about other countries you'd like to see me visit. All of those comments are entered in with a chance to win the little bundle that we're going to do, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world, everybody can enter, and we'll ship this little parcel of goodies over to you you. So don't miss out, drop a comment, get involved in the conversation. And with that being said, let me show you my third pick, which isn't from Swedol, it's from Wurth. So as you would expect, while I'm in Sweden, I am looking for Swedish-made tools, which led me to my third pick, which is a Wurth handmade by Swedol crowbar. Now, the chap in Wurth introduced me to this brand. He said, you've got to have a look at the crowbars. I was bringing back a suitcase, so I couldn't get one of the big ones, but I thought it's always handy to have a small crowbar and something made by hand in Sweden, sold in Wurth though, so sold in like a chain store. I thought that was a bit of a winner. Forged by hand in Gnarp, this thing has been made in Sweden since 1942. By hand, our skilled blacksmiths understand the essential characteristics required for wrecking bars use, whether in daily use or occasional necessity. That's going to be me, occasional necessity. Once approved, it's hand painted and ready to be used. All Swedol wrecking bars come with a 20-year warranty. What a little product that is. Nice to find locally made tools. When I visit each country, I am always on the lookout for tool brands and tools made in that country. And I am always looking for kind of local brands. And some of the local brands are Swedish, but maybe they're not made in Sweden. But to find one that's hitting both notes really, Swedish brand and made in Sweden, is a winner. And it's always good to have another little crowbar in my collection. So that is my number 3 pick. And it doesn't stop there with number 3. Because I also have another Swedish brand, and I've had to boil it. We like to do a 5 on this channel, so I've had to boil 2 together. And that is Moraknil. This is another Swedish-made Swedish brand, and these make a huge array of knives, different kind of flexible blades, hard blades, hunting knives. I was really looking for one with a flint and steel in the handle, but I couldn't find that anywhere. So let me know if there's a good place to get the one that has the little flint that pulls out of the handle and then you can use it as a striker. But picking up a Moraknil knife in Sweden, they're really cheap, and there was all different sorts, all different colour handles, which refer to the different characteristics you might want. But I thought this, a standard fixed blade, grey Moraknil knife, made in Sweden, Swedish brand, had to go on the list. So that is in with my number 3 pick. So let me show you number 2. So number 2 is back to Swedol, and it is a brand we all know, and that is Milwaukee. Now, why did it make it into number 2? Well, I've not seen it before, and it is a tool I think I can really use and put in my toolkit. I'm always on the lookout for Milwaukee tools, or any of the brand tools really, that I've not seen before, because it does seem like there's slightly different setups, slightly different ranges in each country, and Sweden was no different. I think I've probably just missed these in other countries, but this is a cool tool I can add to my toolkit. So basically a really solid all metal handle set of scissors that's also slightly serrated with an offset handle, meaning you can cut along a table. It's got a picture on the back showing it cut in mineral wool, so you can open the blade really, really wide. And I just thought that was a tool that I needed. So when I am looking for tools, I'm looking for quirky. I'm also looking for things that I can actually put in my toolkit, something I need in my tool bag. That is why I picked those up, because I think that is a great little addition to one of my toolkits. And the fact that these are fully stainless steel, they don't loosen, they're serrated so they can cut a lot more stuff, and they've got this full metal handle, I thought they're going to be a great pair of scissors to add to my toolkit and actually get some use out of. So that is why they are my number 2 pick, which brings me to my top pick, which is from Wurth, and I got a few little goodies to go with it. So my number 1 pick is, could it be any other brand than Bahco? I was on the lookout for some cool Bahco tools, but I already have quite a lot of Bahco stuff. I do have quite a few Bahco tools. I really like them as a brand. They make really quality stuff. They've got some really innovative products. And if you didn't know, I've said it a couple of times on the channel, they're owned by Snap-on, and Snap-on adjustable spanners are the Bahco design, and they cost a huge amount more. So if you want an adjustable and you're thinking about paying Snap-on money, don't. Save your money and get some Bahco stuff. Now this is kind of like their universal wrench. I've not seen this one before. It's like a fishtail. And I thought this again is just a nice little tool to add to a toolkit, because you've got your standard really good quality adjustable, and Bahco do make the best adjustables. But on this side, you've got like this toothed jaw, which is for kind of gripping onto pipe or kind of rounded off nuts. To be honest, if you're using an adjustable, you might end up rounding off a few nuts. So after you've rounded it off, you can then go back with this end and get the nut undone. But I thought it's a nice quality made thing, and I wanted Bahco on the list. You can't go to Sweden and not come back with a Bahco tool when you're tool shopping or when you love tools. So I thought that was a great little pickup, and I really like Bahco. And while I was at the till, I also managed to get a couple of Wurth Zollstock. So I got the standard one that they had hanging on the shelf, which is like a Wurth birch standard Zollstock. They also had this, which is like a limited edition one from this current quarter. I think they might have these quarterly, and this is the current limited edition. It's a plastic Wurth one. And right behind the till, hidden, was this one, and I eyeballed it and I said, oh, where's that one? I can't see that one in the shop. And the chap said, that's my one. So I was like, oh, damn it, it's out of order. And then I was looking around, there was another one behind the till. I was like, whose is that one? And obviously I think at that point he realised I was really on the hunt for different ones, and he was like, don't worry, you can have mine. And he hooked me up, so I ended up getting 3 additional Zollstocks for the collection, or with a nice print on them. These are the kind of ones I like. I don't like the plain ones. So that's 3 more. That puts us, what, 56 Zollstocks? So that's my number 1 pick, plus a couple of Zollstocks. And something else I got from Wurth, we didn't quite stop there, is some of these Wurth Liquorice sweets. Now, apparently in Sweden, they're big fans of licorice, but he did warn me that their licorice is incredibly salty, and it's a lot more bitter than kind of our sweetened licorice we have over here. So I think the plan with that is, because I did get a load of them, so I definitely think I can include some with our little bundle over here. I'll do a bit of a taste on that after I've cut all of the tools into the foam. In terms of layout, we're nearly there. I'll probably just cut a couple of the Zollstocks in. I've got my knife, which folds down. Crowbar. I go with the Wurth and the Swedol to represent both shops I went to. Got the Moraknil knife, got the Bahco adjustable, got the crowbar, the knife, and then the scissors. Seems a shame that I've got Milwaukee second on the list, but I did need a decent pair of scissors. So if I could have found some Swedish made scissors, I would have got them, but there we go. I've got a good representation of Swedish brands and tools. Bahco, Svembro Smide, Moraknil and Hultafors, all very famously Swedish brands. Now when it comes to cutting shadow foam, all you need is a cutting kit. This has got everything you need to cut shadow foam, and they come free with most orders at shadowfoam.com. And in that kit, you get cut-proof gloves. And for those who have always wondered, I only wear 1 glove, but you do get a pair of gloves in the kit. I tend to just wear the left one. Then you get a sticker, you get instructions, and you get a scalpel with 5 blades. And that's all you need to cut around the shapes, peel back the foam, and create your own tool organizer. So all I've got to do now is do that. I'll cut all of these in, and I'll come back to you when it's all done. So there we go, that is the cutting all done, and basically, same as always, place the item where you want it to go, cut around it with a scalpel in the cutting kit, peel back the foam layers and create perfect inserts. You know where everything is, you know when it's missing. Obviously I've not fit a lot of tools there, but that's my top 5. I've got a pretty good selection of the Zollstocks, and I could jam a lot more. If you want to see a video more about cutting shadow foam, go and subscribe to our shadow foam channel, and you can see more videos dedicated to cutting shadow foam, getting loads of tools in, loads of quirky, interesting projects. So make sure you go and subscribe to that. And if you want to see more toolboxes while I'm at it, go and subscribe to What Toolbox 2, which is our second channel, all about toolbox reviews and talking about all the different toolboxes on the market, what's coming soon, all the latest news. That's all over on What Toolbox. But all I've got to do now is chuck the insert in the Wurth Horsey. That is all my picks from Sweden, nice and neatly organised in yellow. And I really enjoyed shopping in Sweden. It was really nice, friendly place, and pretty well priced, I thought. Sweden, prices there were pretty good. Seemed a bit more expensive in Denmark, but Sweden was pretty good. The last thing to do is try one of these sweets. Now, I've got one in each bundle. I do like licorice, but I'm not sure about salty licorice. I don't know if you can class that as a sweet, really. Apparently, this is a favourite in Sweden. They love it. I'm not going to be buying a bag of them, I can tell you. Blow my neck. Let me know if you like licorice. I like sweet licorice. I like licorice flyers. I like the classic Lion's Chewy tablets. Don't think they do them now, but they used to be called Uncle Ben's, and then the licorice tablets, they were flipping amazing. Nice, sweet, chewy licorice. Not as much of a fan of that, I'll be honest. I don't think I'm going to persevere with that. But I'll put that one in the bin. I won't put that one in the giveaway. But we'll put one in so you can get involved. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know any other places you'd like to see me visit. Sweden was fascinating, and as part of that trip, I did visit a couple of other stores in Sweden and in Denmark. So stay tuned for those. Make sure you subscribe, because we actually went to an amazing Danish tool show. It was pretty incredible. I met some fans there and found some cool, innovative tools and some new tool brands, which is always what we're looking at. And a brand new toolbox that I'd never seen before. Had no idea it was coming to the market, and I found it at the Denmark tool show. So you're not going to want to miss those videos. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell so then you get notification when we've released a new video. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.